techniques in CLAT 2025. So first thing in mind for many students related to maths is that maths is very difficult. But let me assure you, if you see the last 4 to 5 years of last actual papers of CLAT, last 5 years actual papers of CLAT, you would notice that the maths that is asked is just basic 8th to 10th level maths, and the questions are of data interpretation types. So what is the meaning of data interpretation? So there will be a set given to you. Set can be in the form of a passage, which we call as caselet, or it may be in the form of a table, or maybe sometimes a pie chart, a line graph, or a bar graph. So these types of data interpretation graphs or charts or passages will be given to you. Generally, it is observed that it will be in the form of a passage, which is called as caselet. So you just have to gather the important data from that passage, work on few basic calculations like percentages, ratios, some multiplication. So these types of calculations and these types of basic things also, if you work in maths, you can easily score very well in quantitative techniques. And if you want to get out of score like almost 11 to 12 marks in QT of CLAT, then these are the tips for you. So first thing is that you have to learn the basic concepts of arithmetic topics. That is first and foremost thing for QT section. So which important topics are there under arithmetic? So under arithmetic, you have to prepare very important topic, that is percentage. If you see last 4 to 5 years of actual CLAT papers, you will notice that almost 50 to 60% of the weightage is for percentages. So in percentages, the concepts like percentage increase, percentage decrease, then successive percentage change, then basic percentage calculation, fraction to percentage conversion, these types of topics are very important, and one must be very good in solving these percentage questions in very less time and accurately as well. So percentage is the most important topic which you cannot miss at all. The second important topic is ratio. So in ratio also, if you see, almost 20% weightage has been observed in last 4 to 5 years of actual CLAT papers. So in ratio, you should be aware of method of parts in ratio. Then you should be aware of method of combining the ratios. Then you should be solving different questions, single questions as well as set based questions on ratios to get a good hand in this topic as well. The third important topic is averages. So in averages also, the concepts like weighted average is very important, and the basic definition of average will also do. So the weightage has not been that much, but there may be a single question in a set based on averages. However, in one of the years, one complete set, that is all the 5 questions, were based on concept of averages. The fourth important topic is profit and loss. So on profit and loss also, it has been observed that in one of the questions of the set, or maybe a separate set completely, may be asked on profit and loss, the weightage has been somewhere around 10% when we compare last 4 to 5 years of CLAT. And another important topic is simple interest and compound interest. So these are the 5 basic topics which one cannot miss if you want to score the best possible marks in QT section of CLAT. So this is the first thing that students should be aware of. The second important tip is that you have to work on improving your calculation speed and accuracy. You have to improve your calculation speed by practicing a few addition subtraction orally every day, right? You can take some 2 digit, 3 digit or 4 digit numbers randomly. Start with 2 digit numbers, then go to 3 digit, then go to 4 digit. You can take some numbers randomly, practice them orally. You have to practice addition subtraction orally. So you have to improve your mind calculation. That will improve your speed as well as accuracy. The second important thing to do in calculation practice is multiplications. So same way, you start with 2 digit by 2 digit multiplication, then go to 3 digits, and up to 3 digits is sufficient when we talk about multiplications. Next important thing is tables. This is a very basic thing. Tables are very important. One must know tables at least up to 25 for improving the calculation speed. The fourth important thing is one must know squares. Squares of the numbers at least up to 25. And also cubes of numbers at least up to 20. These are some basic tips for calculation practice. If you practice at least these 5 things along with few other things like fractions to percentage calculation, which will be covered in percentages practice, so your calculation speed and accuracy will be very good. Third important thing is daily practice, which many students do not do. They either practice QT on alternate days or alternate weeks, so don't do that. You have to practice daily for QT at least for 30 to 45 minutes. I would say 30 minutes for QT concepts and 15 minutes for calculation. That will be an ideal time limit for everyday preparation for this subject. So what you have to practice? You have to practice daily single questions. So even though the questions that are asked in CLAT are set best, but for improving your concepts in the topics that are discussed, you have to practice single questions. When you practice single questions, it will revise the concepts and it will help you in equation forming. Because when we solve single questions, there is always some different situation given according to which we have to form the equations and work around those concepts accordingly. And second important thing is data interpretation sets. Along with single questions, we should also practice data interpretation sets in our daily practice. So one set per day is more than sufficient for this particular section. Even if you solve one set per day, that is absolutely going to help you in your preparation. And third thing is calculation. So calculation practice also, as I said, 15 minutes of daily calculation practice is very important. Next important thing in QT preparation is question selection and data organization, which many students do not follow. What we do when we are solving a particular set in our mocks or in actual exam also, students do rough work on the given data in the passage, and when we do rough work, we do not even write the values that we have obtained in that data properly, due to which what happens, many questions are interdependent, like what values you get for first question may be used in third question or fifth question of that set. So that's why it becomes very important for you to write down that data, important data in that passage neatly and carefully. Just when we are reading a passage, just focus on important pointers, not to focus on the whole information given in the passage, but important data, important numbers, important pointers. Those are very important. And you have to practice preparing a table or some kind of diagram when you are solving a passage. So tables or tree diagrams will be very useful when you are solving the passage. Another important thing is select your questions while solving in order of easy to medium. what happens many a times that there is always a particular time limit that we allot for a particular section, but sometimes what happens, first question itself is of higher difficulty level, and many students may get stuck there. Because they get stuck in a single question, the time that they have allotted for QT section keeps on wasting. That's why I would suggest you should always practice, even while solving the questions in your daily practice. You should always try to figure out which question is of easy difficulty level, which question is of medium difficulty level, which question is of hard difficulty level. That will help you in organizing the questions in difficulty level order. So you should always solve easy questions first, and then if time permits, then you have to go for medium or difficult level questions. It will definitely help you in managing your time allotted for this section very well. Then, as I said, you have to practice organizing and rearranging the data properly in the form of a table or tree diagrams. Like when a passage is given, some percentage values are given, some ratio values are given, then you should form a table or a tree diagram that will help you to easily analyze the data given to you. You don't have to keep reading the passage again and again. All the important values will be written in that table or in that tree diagram, and using those values you can easily solve all the questions based on that set. You don't have to read the passage again and again. If you don't write the information properly, then it will create confusion and sometimes repetition of calculation. Like as I said, first question, whatever data you have obtained in first question, if the same data is to be used in another question, say third question or fifth question, then you will not waste your time if the data is properly written in front of you in a form of a table or tree diagram. And the last and foremost important tip is mock solving and analysis. For achieving a good score in QT, it is very important to keep solving your mocks, and not only solving but analyzing them afterwards. So you have to solve all the mocks. That is very, very important. And even more important is that you have to analyze your mocks and understand your strengths and weakness from that mock. So you will understand which topic you are good at, which topic you are not good at. If there is a topic that you find is your strength and you are repeatedly getting good numbers from that topic, for example, if you are getting all the questions based on percentages correct in every mock, then you can say that percentage is your strength. But if you are not getting the questions based on averages repeatedly, then you can say that it is your weakness. So once you understand your strengths, you have to capitalize on your strengths. Means whenever you see the questions based on that particular topic which is of your strength, you should solve them first and get confidence of getting a good score in the section. And then whatever weaknesses you have to keep revising the concepts of those weaker areas that you have found out from analysis of mocks. So not only mock solving but mock analysis is also very important in QT. So to summarize this, I would say in QT section, you just have to prepare basic maths of 8 to 10 standard, that too only 4 to 5 important topics. You just have to focus on that, and daily calculation practice along with the concepts of these 4 to 5 topics will definitely give you almost 100% score in QT section of CLAT. And do not miss any mocks, and do not miss to analyze all those mocks. And first get rid of the fear of maths, then only it will help you in achieving this score. So that's all from my side. Thank you.